okay if you and I. Story of my life is an African pride. Story of my life, I see it through my heart. We going up. We going up. Africa, Emma, stand up and say, Emma, stand up and say, we going up. We going up. Africa, Emma, Africa, Emma. Come on, Africa, rain. Come on, Africa, shine. Today is your day. Hey. Together we'll rise. Story of my life. Story of my life. It's an African pride. Yeah. Trying every day. And all we need is change. We going up. Africa, Emma, stand up and say, Africa, Emma, come on, Africa.
Oh my goodness, it's another Saturday out in the south of Johannesburg. It's gone 12 midday, and while the temperatures outside are noticeably dropping, in the Trendz studio, we are bringing the heat. That was a killer performance. Thank you so very much, DJ Chase and his band. And they are saying, yeah, Africa Ema, as we herald the start of Africa Month. I'll be chatting to him in a little bit so that you can get to know him better. My name, of course, is Refill Wemwilwa, and welcome to Trendz. I appreciate all of you tuning in week after week. And our first story for today, perhaps more universally relevant today than it was in the 1950s. The story of Cantemba is a powerful metaphor for the impact of oppression on personal relationships, and also explores unforgiveness, intolerance, and revenge that are paradoxically self-destructive. Now, first published in 1963, The Suit is the best-known work by author and drum magazine journal Cantemba. It was banned in apartheid South Africa, along with all his other writings, and 50 years since his death, the biopic starring Atandwa Kani, who is also, of course, in the rom-com Love by Chance that we profiled last week, was selected for the 25th Pan-African Film Festival in Los Angeles earlier this year, and has since won a myriad of awards internationally at film festivals. And as for the stage version, The Suit, first performed at Johannesburg Market Theatre in 1994, is back again. Be sure not to miss this one. Take a look.
Directed by stage, television and film actor James Ngobo, The Suit investigates themes of infidelity, betrayal, love and loss, among other things. Set in Sophia Town, a legendary black cultural hub that was destroyed under apartheid, this production is about a couple, Philemon and his wife, whose marriage is riddled with lies.
It seems that there is a young man who has been coming to visit your wife.
And the storyline is centered around a suit left behind by Philemon's wife, Lava. Philemon found out about his wife's infidelity through a friend who has observed a young man visiting his home every morning just after he leaves for work. In a twist of events, when the lover leaves behind his suit, it's that personal item that poor Philemon will honor. He commands his wife Matilda to treat the suit with the same hospitality that she would show to a guest.
Not there. No. Not like that! Put him so he indeed becomes that person.
But what's behind the idea of bringing the play to the Market Theatre 23 years later?
The reason why we brought the play to the Market Theatre for our season of 2017 is that this year is 50 years since the great Ken Temba passed away. And so one of the things that I curated was the Ken Temba season. And for myself as a director, I've been wanting to direct this play for years and years. It is your quintessential South African love story. And so we doing a revival of it. And the last time it was done here at the Market was in 1994 by the great Barney Simon.
The character of Matilda is played by Zola Nombona, and the story is narrated by Lindani Nkosi.
Matilda. Stop saying you're sorry.
Firstly, one of the biggest roles I had to take on. It's one of the most quintessential roles, as a female in this amazing short story by Ken Temba. So Matilda is a young woman who is in if I could put it, in an unhappy marriage, which is a route that we chose to go with. She's in an unhappy marriage, and through boredom and, because she was a musician before she got into this marriage. So missing out on the excitement of the outside world and performing and all of that, she started being complacent and getting bored, and eventually fell into the trap of infidelity, which has put her in a very tight situation, if I could put it that way.
Where are you from? They gaan pajamas. I went home to
I'm playing the role of the narrator of the story. There's three narrators in the play. I open it, and so it feels almost like I'm the one that actually turns the pages, because at some point I need to go into the conscience or the memory of Matilda in telling the story, and kind of like make her recall what it was like and what she went through. And so the steps, basically, I begin the steps where she goes into her memory and what happened and how things were between her and Philemon. And I pretty much tell the story and take people from point A to the last point.
Yeah.
To the last point, yeah.
Look at you hear me? You must look at
The suit ends in tragedy. Matilda dies of heartache as she couldn't bear the pain of humiliation her husband was putting her through. The suit opened yesterday at the Market Theatre and will run until the 28th of May.
not looking at me.
Now, house DJ, music producer, songwriter, and musician DJ Chase started writing songs in the late 90s after picking up a guitar. His mother bought him, and he has since never looked back. Now, he's the man on production's big songs like Be There, featuring Blue and Big Nas, Shigupu, and Not So Far for DJ Kanyane, to name but a few. Now, he's been cooking in his studio, working on his debut album with the first single called Africa Ema. Now, I have him here. Thank you so very much for playing us in. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So congratulations. Finally doing your thing. I mean, it's been a while, though. You've been in the industry for... Tell us your story.
Over a decade. Well, I'm from Limpopo, a place called Lubahomu. That's where it all started out for me.
Lepkau. Yeah.
You know, always in my bedroom trying to write songs. And then my mom saw the interest that I had. By the way, I have like the best supportive mom.
That's amazing.
There, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically she invested in my talent, you know, and bought me a guitar, bought me a keyboard. So I came to Joburg in 2003 to study music, formerly at the National School of the Arts. I majored in keyboards, contemporary music.
All right.
So somewhere along the 3 years, I developed an interest for production.
Okay.
And I got my first break in my last year of school when I was introduced to Kabelo Mabalani.
Nice.
By a friend of mine.
Okay.
And to my surprise, he was willing to come to the studio where our school was to listen to some of my demos.
And the rest is history, and you are here today.
I'm here today.
Amazing. And that's the thing, like there are so many amazing producers behind so many hit tracks that we know of, and we never realize that, you know, you've been slogging, been honing your skill over many years to actually be able to do what you do so well. So tell us about your performance with Mishka, with your band. What are you all about? Because you said you did piano, and yet there's so many elements of, I think, your artistry as a whole. So what is it that you essentially are about?
Okay. So I'm an artist right now, DJ artist. I collaborate with my band called Miami Sounds. And on this particular song, I'm featuring Mishka. The first time I heard his voice on African Woman with DJ Shinja, I was like blown away. I was like, I have to have this guy because he's so African. I loved his sound,
Sure.
So basically, that is the beginning of my journey as an artist.
Okay, and the song Africa Emma.
Africa Emma.
Africa Emma, Africa Stand Up.
Africa Stand Up. Emma is a petty word. Basically, the song is about unity.
Yeah.
Standing up together to achieve one common goal, which is love, Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And where to from here? I mean, you've just released your album?
No, not my album is
not your
yet
album.
released.
Okay, so this is a single that you've currently released. All right. And what are you working towards? Any timelines? When can people expect your, full project to drop?
Well, you can look forward to a lot of interesting collaborations. I'm currently cooking up something, a calm song with a bit of Maskandi with a hashtag.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah,
they are amazing. He's amazing in so many ways. Okay, and what you call it? I mean, you're cooking up collaborations. Can you let us know who else perhaps you're working with and who you want to work with? Because there's so many. I think when you do house, you're talking now about doing something with Ihashi. That's a lot of different kinds of sounds that you want to bring across. Yeah. So what essentially do you look for in your vocalist that brings out and enhances your sound or your production rather?
Yeah. Well, my heartbeat lies within developing upcoming talent. Finding a vocalist that's got the goods, but they don't really know how to find a niche. So you can look forward to a lot of upcoming artists.
Okay.
A bit of known artists here and there, but my heartbeat is really in the upcoming artists. Yeah.
Where do you see house music in 5 years from now?
Oh, globally, I think we'll be doing a lot of. I mean, with where it's come from, in the early '90s to where it is now.
Yeah.
It's really scary. I mean, the Durban sounds, the Pitori sounds.
And everybody has something that makes them special, right?
Yeah, it keeps on evolving.
What are you going to do for Lebcow? Let's talk about Lebcow. Like, what are you coming out with that everybody will say, okay, there's that Lebcow sound?
Like I told you, part of my heartbeat is grooming upcoming talent. So that's where I would like to start, from my hometown.
Absolutely fantastic. And international aspirations?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. The sky is your limit, you know what I mean?
The world is my oyster,
Of course. Yeah. And let's talk about social media. Where can people get a hold of you? Are you performing anytime soon? I mean, this is a great track. It's Africa Month, as we just said. So I'm sure, it will be a great, feature on any lineup for any festival. So where can people catch you performing soon?
Well, tonight you can catch me at News Cafe in Randburg. Every weekend, every Friday and Saturday, you'll find me at the Radisson Blue.
All right.
And on social media, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at DJ Chase SA all the way.
At DJ Chase SA, no spaces?
No.
Okay, awesome. And any music video work that you're working on?
Watch this.
Is that in the pipeline?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll look out definitely,
Yeah.
And once that drops, please do have it on Trendz so that we have it first here at the SABC. Thank you so very much, DJ Chase. I look forward to hearing from you and the guys again in a short little while.
All right, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
All right.
Now, director Aki Nomotoso is flying the South African flag high across shores and over the seas in New York at the African Film Festival, which commenced this week. Now, Omotoso's Via, a dramatic and moving tale, is centered around 3 strangers on a train from KwaZulu-Natal, traveling to the big city of gold that is Johannesburg. They eventually cross paths as they are bound by interlocking destinies. And this film, it was the opening film at this year's New York African Film Festival, which is currently on. It started on the 3rd and it ends on the 9th of May. Now, the festival is an American showcase of celebrated films from the African continent and the diaspora and is held in collaboration with the African Film Festival, Inc. and the Film Society of the Lincoln Center. Now, other prized South African films that will be showing at the festival include Kalushi, Mapantsola, Uprise, and Nume Skoli. Now, salute to our actors and filmmakers for consistently making us proud. After the break, we chat music, awards, add a dash of some art, and I have a chart-topping muso from our neighboring Botswana in the building. And now, it's DJ Chase and Mishka and the band. Take it away, guys.
if we all unite. Story of your life, it's an African pride. Story of my life, I see it through my heart.
This distinguished CEO would say the best way to enjoy a brandy is whilst wearing diamond-encrusted lamb's wool socks, accompanied by
the smell of fresh money.
Woo! Really? Sock diamonds?
Well, we'd say a brandy enjoyed with last night's pizza works just as well. Tops at Spa. Good brandy, good advice, no blingy socks.
Water-wise, water is an essential need. The scarcity of it could lead to loss of many lives, including livestock, plants, and much more. It requires us to use it sparingly and responsibly in times of need, failing which our taps and sanitation will not function. For more on water and weather issues, stay tuned to News Today, every Friday at 4:45 Central African Time. SABC News, making you water-wise.
Welcome back. You're watching Trendz. Now, Afrikaans alternative pop rock group, the Heuwels Fantasties, is back with a brand new album. Now, all 4 of their previous releases received gold status, and everything is okay. Okay being the title of their new album. Trendz caught up with the group ahead of their official release this past Friday on the 5th of May, where they put together an epic concert out in Pretoria.
The inception of the Heuwels Fantasties took place in early 2008, where Pierre Greef and Hunter Kennedy started the band that would later become one of South Africa's premier Afrikaans musical groups. The group describes their music as a melodic songs written on acoustic guitar, interpreted with electronic and organic instruments, and you may even call it pop. Now, nearly 10 years later, the guys are reveling in the life of a musician as they release their 5th album.
The biggest change we've undergone from that's our first record till this one now, the 5th one, is I think we've kind of evened out. You know, I think we're kind of used to being on the road and doing what we do as a vocation, and we kind of take it in our stride now. I think that's the biggest change.
Tried to.
Yeah. Well, I think it's top of mind for all of us.
Their album OK is a revelation for the group, as they believe they stay true to the message in their music through this album.
I think maybe the main differentiator between this and, let's say, any of the other records is, for us, I think we feel that it's more focused, whereas I think kind of we maybe got carried away on some of the other records, and I think it wasn't as clear as to what we were trying to achieve. And on these songs, we really tried to go less is more, and like focused every part of every song to kind of communicate. I think that's what we're trying to do with our music, and I think we've achieved it. But I mean, the audience will tell us, you know, once they hear it and they live with the music and it becomes part of their life, you know, they'll tell us what it means to them, you know.
Song creation is an intuitive process that can be instantaneous or take a great deal of time. They found inspiration for the album in Vlees Bay on the Garden Route, and it was once again recorded in the green valleys of Stellenbosch at Jurgen van Wegma's Sunset Studios. Kennedy takes us through the group's inspirational moments in making some of their hits.
Every song is slightly different. I think of the way that we explain it is that most of the time, and like I said, it's not all of the time, it'll start with a piece of music, whether it's a riff or a piano chord progression or so, you know, some kind of musical idea, and then we would probably have lyrics somewhere, and we try to fit the lyrics with that piece of music and write the melody over that. And then from there on, it's like the song kind of unlocks itself, you know. I think it's quite intuitive for us. We can overthink it. We talk a lot. When we're writing, we actually talk more than we're actually writing anything, you know, just to get on the same page. But yeah, it's where do ideas come from? You know what I mean? It's hard to explain that process.
Yeah, but I think in that, if that's the workflow, then the music is always the mood. And if music is the mood, then that kind of informs the lyrics, and vice versa. You know, the lyrics then kind of, if it's going in a direction, that might influence the music. So it's a push-pull all the time.
OK is officially available to the public, so do have a listen.
How's it, guys? We're the Heuwels Fantasties, and you're watching Trendz. Okay! Okay!
I like that. Thank you so very much. That's the Heuwels Fantasties. Now, it's time for the annual awards that celebrate the coolest brands and personalities in their respected categories, all based on opinions of the youth, because we do all know that is where the buying power lies. Now, in its 13th year, the Sunday Times Generation Next Awards have added 8 new categories. Since 2004, Times Media has commissioned HDI youth marketers to conduct the survey, which polls youth across more than 70 categories to quantify their perception of brands, products, and celebrities. I'm now joined by the junior board of directors that are all clued up on what's cool and what's not. Welcome, ladies. How are you? It's Mukebe, it's Neo, it's Lala.
Hello.
Cool. How are you guys? And so tell us, I mean, some people actually don't know. And this is actually such a fun day. These awards are, you know, and as I said, I mean, the youth, you know, really are the ones who determine buying power and what's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Refugio, firstly, sorry, I am not a part of the J board.
Yes. You're from HDI. You're representing HDI.
But I will take it. Thank you very
Cool.
much. Yes. So the study, as you said, goes across the country to probe the opinions of young people in over 75 categories this year, in fact. We have done this for 13 years, and the interesting part, or the great part of the study, is that it's the largest youth study in the country, which questions 5,500 plus young people on an annual basis to find out what makes them tick. So it's largely contended because a lot of marketers want to know, is my brand doing the right thing in that space?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of hugely contended categories.
Such as?
Such as the motor vehicle category. It's always a huge tussle between BMW and Mercedes-Benz, for
Really?
example.
Okay, okay.
The fast food category is also...
that must be crazy. When you have... Yeah, like there's so many franchises, geez, and we know, I mean, we've seen the queues when you are outside some of these, you're like, really?
Really?
And at the end of the day, you're like, nutritional value? But anyway, that's beside the point.
Those are the consumers, and this is what they want.
That's the consumers, yeah. So, ladies, tell us, I mean, how did you guys get to be a part of this? Is it your first time, or how many years have you been doing it? And why be a part of, you know, a cool vibe and awards thing like this?
Yeah. Well, I've been a part of the board. This is my first year, actually. I've heard about them since 2015 when they came to my university. I go to the University of Johannesburg. And then they told us about the study. We also participated in the study. And then they also mentioned that there's a portfolio called the Junior Board. And then on the board, you could actually have your opinion being influenced to how products get made, the final opinion in terms of what brands would like to do before they go out there and market it.
Oh, awesome.
So it's
how
really,
big
really
is this
awesome.
board?
There's a board of kids, teens, and young adults. 12 kids, 12 teens, and 12 young adults. And it rotates every 12 to 18 months.
And we're talking, what's the youngest age?
The youngest age is about 8. So the kids, obviously, they have to be able to talk or...
be able to express themselves and have, you know, sound
and
opinions.
have an opinion,
Cool,
based on something.
Yeah.
So 8 to 12,
Yeah.
which would be the kids, then teens 13 to 18, young adults 19 to 24.
Oh, nice one. Okay, and Lala, so tell us about you being a part of this and what brands, well, I don't know. I don't think you should mention all of them here. You know what I mean? But, you know, just the Generation Next Awards, even the visuals that everyone sees there, it's such an amazing, it's a party, you know what I mean?
is.
So what is it for you? Is it your first year as part of, you know, the J board? Bod. Okay, Junior Board of Directors. You guys are like future directors. Do you understand that? Because this is actually honing you for being, you know, whatever space that you'll end up in future. I don't know what you're studying, but this is actually great because not many times do we have platforms where young people can actually be heard and have opinions that are expressed. And as you say, you know, Magema, someone as young as 8 years old. That's absolutely fantastic. So tell us about yourself, Lala, and what you're into.
It's my first year, and I found out about it through Community Hours SA, because I was on the JJC, Johannesburg Junior Council.
Shout out.
Yeah. And that's where I found out about it, and I just really like the fact that there's a lot of exposure and there's a lot of learning to it, which I really liked. So.
Okay, so it's not just the party, because I've just attended the party.
Definitely not just the
So
party.
there's a whole lot of stuff that happens before.
through, yeah.
And I mean, you know, things like your influences and even your celebrities.
Yes.
This year, who's performing, who will be there? There will be a couple of talks, am I correct?
Yes, so this year there's two parts to the event. In the morning is the convention, well, at the Sandton Convention Center, the conference, and that's from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. I think tickets are still available for that.
Okay.
Then there's a break, and then the awards ceremony in the evening.
Oh, nice. And, you know, because this is a youth, you know, Generation Next kind of setup, schools, how do they get involved? Are they involved? I mean, are kids taking days off on Thursday to come and attend this?
No.
Oh my gosh, you're not. I'm sorry. I thought I was like, you know,
we don't advocate taking young people out of schools.
Okay.
But there will be 600 young people in attendance that evening. So 200 kids, 200 teens, and 200 young adults.
Nice.
So this is, of course, in the afternoon and evening after school.
After school is after school.
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, Magema, for you, what do you love about this kind of project? It must be fun because I think working with young people, it just rejuvenates you. You get different perspectives as well. And what are their voices like? What's topical amongst youngsters nowadays that, you know, has taught you a thing or two?
Well, for me, I think the surprising part or the interesting parts are things like education being top of mind for young people. So the study doesn't just look at brands in the 75 categories. There's another part of the study that probes socioeconomic situations,
Fantastic.
the thinkings around where young people are and why. So it asks them a lot of questions about how you feel about certain issues, who gives you advice on certain issues, how much time do you spend online. What is your opinion about South Africa? Do you feel safe? What are your biggest fears?
Oh, awesome.
So insights like that are what excites me, getting into the minds of young people and seeing where we can...
It's not just about cartoons.
Yes, it's not just about cartoons. It's not just about iPads and
gaming.
Yes,
Okay,
and
awesome.
cereal, whatever the case is. So there is deeper insights that come into it, and I think there's a lot of learnings that come from that.
Fantastic. With you ladies, you're at university. What are the most pressing issues for you, and where would you like to see, you know, the biggest changes coming forth to enable you guys to be, you know, the generation next that has the brightest of futures for our country?
Well, obviously, we're looking for support in very many ways in terms of the fact that there are students who are struggling with like real issues in terms of not being fed or not even having money to go to school, basically. So it's really, we're looking for those types of support to help us in terms of being the next generation. And also, we do have a goldmine of ideas. I do believe in our youth and how we are very expressive and innovative, you know. So the support is really what we need. I think if you give us a platform and a chance, and these surveys actually allow our opinion to get out there so that people know what we really want instead of being spoken to.
Nice one. Lala, Youth Month is coming up in June. What do you have to say about just being responsible for the kind of freedom, you know, that we have and going into the future?
Yeah, I think that it's very important that we do stay responsible, but I also think that this month we must just commemorate the youth and what we're celebrating specifically with the massacre that happened in 1976. So we must just really appreciate, but also make sure that the youth keep on like advancing and getting better.
Thank you so very much, ladies. So next week, Thursday, the 11th of May, is the Sunday Times Generation Next Awards. Fantastic having you here. Lovely stuff. The youth are the future, guys, if you didn't know. Now, Exotic Trade, it's an exhibition by Johannesburg digital-based French artist. It's currently on at the Goodman Gallery in Johannesburg. It looks at a whole lot of things. Take a look.
Exotic Trade is Rizia's first solo exhibition at this gallery. Her artwork looks through the history and politics of the information age by highlighting the lasting effects of colonialism on African identities. Emma Lawrence, who is the curator at the gallery, tells us more about Tabitha's works and how the gallery selects these kinds of works.
The exhibition is by the artist Tabitha Rizia. Tabitha is from France and she has Danish heritage. And she also has ancestors or part of her families who are from Guyana. The exhibition is an exploration into black femininity. Tabitha is a woman of color, and she is exploring the historical exploitation of the black female body and how it exists in contemporary culture now. That's why it's called exotic trade. It's to do with how the commodity of the body is exchanged and understood. She also is exploring what she calls communication technology, and she looks at the internet, she looks at computing, at binary code, which she argues, and she shows it in a lot of her work, is rooted within African divination systems. It's something that we associate with the West, but she shows how these very sophisticated forms of languages have actually stemmed from the African continent.
The exhibition also seeks to tackle politics of colonialism and its effects on identity, spirituality and sexuality in the internet age through video, photography and installation. Rizia uses the body of a woman as an example of exotic trades.
We've been working with Tabitha for about 3 years now. She's been on quite a few exhibitions at the Goodman Gallery with very well-known and celebrated artists. We understand and want to nurture the kind of work that she is making. We believe that her message is very important.
And the message is?
The message is to understand identity as something that is fluid, as something that can be constructed, and look at the danger of constructing that identity, of understanding Africa in one way, of understanding femininity in one way, of understanding sexuality in one way. She wants to open that up and open it for debate.
Through video and digital prints, the artist responds to a perceived need to reconnect the body and spirit in order to heal the oppressive colonial technology that defines the dominant narratives of our time. The exhibition will end on the 17th of May at the Goodman Gallery.
Nice one. Now taking us to break is summer nominee artist V Manpizzi. He's about to perform his famous song titled I Do.
ngithanda wena baby ngithanda wena sipelo sami oh you are the one you are the one you are the one baby you are the one baby you are the one
Thank you so much for tuning in to Media Monitor. I'm your host, Alicia Jali. What has been happening on the digital front?
To win the CAF Championship was a huge thing, and perhaps we ought to have celebrated him even more.
Absolutely.
73% of our schools, regardless whether they're in the township or they're in urban areas, if you go to those schools, you are guaranteed a matric pass.
It is the one thing that we haven't done well as a country. We have thrown money at it. I mean, if you ask for figures, you'll be told we're spending well in education.
90 billion.
But the performance of the system has not been good enough.
Now, award-winning artist and producer V Manpizzi has been nominated for a Best African Artist at the South African Music Awards, set to take place out at Sun City later this month. Now, this guy, eclectic, amazing, electric performance. He was born Udirile Center. Now, V is known for what he calls Kwasa House in Botswana. Now, over the years, he's worked with many South African artists and African artists. Today, he's on my couch. This is an artist who has over 12 studio albums.
Yes.
Lekker. Wow. You're trying to catch your breath. Sorry. We're like, but this is how it happens. Like, this game is fast. You look amazing. Your performance is so energetic. Tell us, for people who don't know, V Manpizzi.
Yeah, V Manpizzi is just a guy from Botswana.
Yeah.
And then
You're not just a guy. You are that guy who's playlisted on all these music stations. Yarana FM, Gabs FM, like, it's crazy.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started at a young age. I think I was doing, in Botswana, we call it Form 5.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's Matric.
Yes.
So I started my music then, and, by the grace of God, I managed to get in. And since then, I've tried to keep it like
on
that.
The level. You haven't looked back. But you are so much more. What track did you perform? I Do. Okay, so that was released 2016.
Yeah.
How's it doing?
Released, 2016.
2016, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so how's it been doing? I see the music video there. Where is it currently on the charts, Botswana? Like, what's going on with this particular track? And are you working on your next one already?
Yeah, it's a big song, and especially that we're trying to change the sound. This is not our normal sound.
Yeah.
We try to change it to cater because I'm signed under Universal.
Nice.
So we're trying to cater for South African market and Botswana market.
Okay,
so
and the rest of the continent.
Yes.
I mean, but you are that guy who works and collaborates with A-listers.
Yes.
So tell us about, whether it's South Africans, whether it's, guys from, Northern Africa. Tell us about some of, your most biggest collaborations to date.
I think the first one I would just say Trademark. Trademark, they're from Soshanguve. Those guys are good because they are producers.
Right.
So, we Click and DJ Maporisa, DJ Bugs, and Grootman, Kulichana.
Nice one.
And then there's also there are many. The professor.
I hear you.
Professor is in there. I work with Somizi. I work with Kanyembao.
Really?
Everyone. Yeah.
Nice one. So you definitely are making, your footprint must be felt all throughout the continent. And I mean, other than the music, you're a producer. You're also a businessman. People talk about your businesses. You're a social activist. You are a brand ambassador for so many people.
Yes.
Like, when do you rest? Like, when do you get time to see your family even?
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
But I think because of, you know, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I believe in the Lord Jesus. And because of those, you know, how Christians are brought up, I try by all means just to make time, you know, one or the other. And I know it's very important that we must rest, because everything that you do in your life, most of the stuff is in the Bible.
Yeah.
So if you follow the rules, it's gonna be easy.
You can't go astray.
So I just try to do it the Christian way. It works for me.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Where to next? I mean, you've performed and you've won in a Freema as well, right? Did you win in Dallas, Texas? You were nominated.
Yes, in
but
Dallas,
my guy, like, you are getting to Dallas, Texas. You are performing, you know, in Europe, in the UK.
Yes.
When you look back, I mean, at, you know, the start of, you were just that guy, and then you're chilling with the guys and you're like, guys, I'm going to do this thing. You had that belief, that conviction, and when you look back, what do you say to yourself?
For me, you know, it's always emotional, because most of the people didn't believe in me at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you that guy now who's like, look at me now?
Yeah, no, but I stay humble. It's very important, you know. I mean, you know, as a role model, number one, you must know that, you know, you are leading a lot of people, so you must stay humble. Like in Botswana, right now, I'm an ambassador for, you know, the biggest network right there, Orange Botswana. Right. I'm an ambassador
and many others,
Yeah, Chicken Express and all that. So, you know, and there's a store also called JV Sports. So, you know, for you to have that much power, it's very important that you must stay humble and you must have the heart for the people.
That's
because
right.
you can easily damage people's lives because of your platform that you have. So I try by all means just to stay calm and lead the people in the right way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your most favorite hip-hop artist? Well, hip-hop or pop or anything, actually. What am I saying? You do everything. So who's big for you right now? What's on your playlist?
I'll say Kuli Chana.
Kuli?
Yeah. Actually, I was with him yesterday. We were launching our song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice one. Nice
for
one.
hip-hop,
Fantastic.
I'll say Kuli Chana.
Fantastic.
And
Well,
then,
you just launched a song with him. But anyway, okay, we're wrapping up the conversation as well. You have a condom franchise line. You have bottled water. So your condoms are called La Vie.
La Vie.
Hola. And then your water?
Yeah, my Vita.
Hola.
I'm going to put the V inside.
That's awesome. And then, but I mean, when it comes to youth, when it comes to condoms, why did you know what I mean, decide on that in particular? You could have done anything. So why condoms?
I'll start with water. Water, you know, it's healthy, you know, and you know, people don't drink water.
Sure.
Yeah, so
simple, basic water is essential to life.
Because,
but then, you know, sex education and, you know, the fact that our country and even Botswana, HIV rates, teen pregnancies, young people, all of those things are actually, you know, okay, so that's awesome that you are that guy who sees what's going on with your peers.
Because, you know, whatever that I do, I always try to influence in the right way. Because, you know, when I came in the music industry, I said, you know what? I'm going to get that platform and I'm going to use it for good. Nice. You know, I don't want to sleep and say, and hear people say, no, that we influenced kids in the wrong way, someone committed suicide, whatever. So I want to sleep peacefully.
You are the positive change. Thank you so very much. V Manpizzi, you are doing amazing, amazing work for Botswana, for Southern Africa, and for the rest of the continent. So we look forward to watching your star rise. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much.
Nice one. Nice one. Now, music lovers were taken on a musical trip down memory lane when Mbaqanga group, the Soul Brothers, took to the stage at the Soweto Theatre in Jabulane last weekend. Now, I am talking about memories evoked by a discography of over 40 years. Now, the Soul Brothers made a name for themselves in the 1970s, topping music charts here at home and gaining recognition abroad with hits such as Mama Kaspongile, Hamba Dombi, and many, many more. Take a look.
It's unbelievable that even with the evolution of music over the years, these sounds are still popular. The group last performed in Soweto 13 years ago. And judging by the cheers from the audience, it's clear that Soul Brothers still have it in them to fill up the floor. Soul Brothers proved to be energetic as ever, infusing their Mbaqanga dance moves with the contemporary moves. The group was founded 40 years ago by Moses Ngwenya together with the late David Masondo. Ngwenya is the only member who is still alive from the original group. He takes us through the journey of the Soul Brothers.
We started Soul Brothers like 41 years ago. It was me and David Masondo American Zulu, Uzamtetwa, and Pompi Sosibo. That's when we started around 76. We were like 14, 15 years old at that time. Where we formed the Soul Brothers, it was not far from here, in Zondi, where we met. You know, they were coming from Natal and I was coming from Dube, so it's here. That's where we met, and I liked their playing, but they didn't have a keyboard player. They were only using guitars. Then I came with the keyboard, then the whole style, Soul Brothers style, was born at the time.
Soul Brothers opened the show with songs such as Silahlekelwe, Sengiyazisola, Mama Kasibongile, Hluphekile, and Ihamba Ntombi, warming up the crowd. Spamandla Masondo was recruited to the group by his late father, David Masondo. The band is among the very last iconic performing survivors of Umbaqanga in the country. Mandla Baloyi, who coordinates all the Soul Brothers shows, tells us what it is like to work with this group.
There's been a demand for them to come back, more than demand from them and the other members of the band that they would like to come back to Soweto and do this event and other townships, you know, around the country and also in the neighboring countries. Because the Soul Brothers, you know, that, you know, they've been a favorite group, you know, since we were young, and also they've been a group that, you know, our parents, and everybody. That is why today you see that there's a lot of elderly people that are here. And what is nice about the Soul Brothers is that they are not only for the Zulus or Shanganis, they are for everyone.
After their performance at the Soweto Theatre, the group headed for Swaziland and Namibia. They also will be performing in the UK next month.
Wow, guys, we have legends in music in South Africa and Africa as a continent. Now, set to the all-new sonic backdrop of awesome mixtape number 2, Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 continues the team's adventures as they traverse the outer reaches of the cosmos. Now, the Guardians must fight to keep their newfound family together as they unravel the mystery of Peter Quill's true parentage. Now, old foes become new allies, and fan-favorite characters from the classic comics will come to our heroes' aid as the Marvel Cinematic Universe continues to expand. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 blasted into theaters this weekend. And if you have nothing to do, well, Trendz will put you in the know. Take a look.
You're a good-looking girl. You should try to be more nice to people.
Gamora is this stealth assassin. She's relentless. She's lethal. She's rough. Gamora, she's the kind of character that the first act of the movie you kind of have reservations about because she's not really allowing her cards to be read that freely.
If we're gonna work together, you might want to try trusting me a little bit.
And how much do you trust me? When it comes to the Guardians, they're renegades, they're radicals. Their goals are revenge and money and freedom, but deep down, they want to belong to a family.
I have lived most of my life surrounded by my enemies. I will be grateful to die among my friends.
Let's rock this. A lot of people don't know this, but I do all my own stunts.
Screw you, spaceships!
All right, intensity!
So we're saving the galaxy again?
Yep. The primary thing with this sequel is really about getting to know the characters in a deeper way. It's really about getting to know Star-Lord and Gamora and Baby Groot.
I am Groot. Oh, that's the button that will kill everyone.
Rocket and Drax.
You get to know Drax a little bit more, a lot of the witty dialogue. You just need to find a woman who is pathetic, like you.
And then we have 3 new Guardians. We have Yondu. Nebula's a new Guardian to some extent.
She's going to team up with the Guardians because they're rooting for the same cause.
And Mantis is a new Guardian.
I am Mantis. She can sense emotion. So when people allow her to do something, oh, she does it. You feel sexual though.
No, I don't.
For her.
No.
I think this is more of a relationship film, and your family doesn't always have to be blood. They can be chosen.
All you do is yell at each other. You are not friends.
No, we're family. Except maybe her.
The first movie was about becoming a family. This movie is about being a family.
I'm your dad, Peter.
Nice one. So as you've just seen, the Guardians are back, and in addition to keeping you clued up on all the trendiest of entertainment to indulge in, we are going to make some folks incredibly happy. We have a giveaway, giving away the coolest Guardians of the Galaxy merchandise. 4 of you can win. So please let us know the names of all the Guardians. Tweet your answer to @Trendz on SABC. That Twitter handle again is @Trendz on SABC to win. Good luck. Now we're off to a break. Come back after this because we still have a little bit more.
A presumed U.S. drone strike in the south of the country has killed 3 al-Qaeda suspects.
Death toll in Yemen's 18-month-old civil war now stands at about 10,000.
People get killed or die and are actually buried before they're recorded. And we don't have a way of recording that, but we know the numbers are much higher.
Water restrictions are to be imposed on villages in and around the Nkomazi municipality.
Pumps can't pump the water because there's no water in a river. And if the water is coming back, then it's full of mud.
Those who can pray and those who can do any miracle to make sure that we've got enough rain, give it a try.
Welcome back to the last stretch of Trends. So local talent showcases in art and culture are the backbones of what has become one of the most popular events in Cape Town. Thousands of people continue to flock to First Thursdays in the city centre. So if it's your kind of vibe, check this out.
An event which has grown exponentially since its inception 4 years ago. First Thursday started out with just a few participating art galleries in 2012. Aimed at encouraging people to explore Cape Town on foot while experiencing the diverse arts and culture the city has to offer. Now the streets of the mother city come alive at night on every First Thursday as buskers, aspiring artists, students and potential buyers take in the creative energy around them.
All the galleries stay open really late and it brings a lot of people into the city to look at the art and also drink at our bar, which is really great. And yeah, so for art, it's us. We never expected to have an art gallery when we conceived our product here, and it's just something that happened, and we got a couple of artists in and it took off and people love it.
The monthly event offers the platform for new and existing artists to exhibit their work. Local sculptor Herbert Barichivi creates miniature busts of popular icons and culture heroes. He says the event promotes the knowledge of art and that this in turn bodes well for artists.
I'm very interested in storytelling and just the history and the trials and tribulations that everyone goes through. So like even when some of these greats have gone through some really tough times, and wherever you've been, you know, they've been at least one of them have been a whole lot worse. So they give me inspiration. So they're more like a vision board for me. Each one has a certain attribute that I'm attracted to, and I think a large variety of society or people that like the popular icons are attracted to. So if I look at say Bob Marley, he brings everyone together, one love.
With so much to see and do, those in the know suggest comfortable walking shoes and a study of the printed maps available to help in planning for a fun-filled evening of arts and culture.
So that's it, folks. I'm done, but don't despair. In 7 days' time, I'll be back right here to give you the very best in voices and talents and showbiz out of our beloved motherland and the diaspora. How could I not give a shout out to my homeboy Casper Nyvest, finally dropping his highly anticipated 3rd album. It's titled Tuto, hot on the heels of opening his Family Tree clothing store. Congratulations, young man. The album just a day released. I mean, literally, yeah, yesterday, the 5th of May, and it's already #1 on iTunes. Now, if you don't know the name of this setup, the show name is Trendz, and for me, my name is your host. I am Refilwe Wakamuilwa. Blessings all around to you and yours. And I still have V here with me in studio. This guy is hectic. He's traveling to Botswana to perform tonight after this. V, take it away, my guy.
look up when I ukumela usatsuka tsuka usatutumela when I klopa fucha lutufela boso stella.
Hey, shoot that hapele hap. How did you compare? What that